So the problem here has to do with something I found in the paper. I went and looked in the paper, and I looked at the banks here, and I looked at the CD rates and their annual percentage yields. And so we're going to use that, and we're going to find out how, if you opened a 1-year CD with $2,500, how much money would you make between months 3 and month 5 of the term? So we have 3 banks. We have Wells Fargo, we have Sacramento Credit Union, and we have the Bank, oops, that is not a B, Bank of America. So at Wells Fargo, the annual percentage yield for that CD is 0.05%, and it is compounded daily. At Sacramento Credit Union, the APY is 0.19. That is compounded monthly. And then at Bank of America, the APY is 0.09, and that is compounded daily. So here's what we're going to do. In order to find out this specific information, how much money you make from month 3 to month 5, we're going to use the APY to find what the rate is, and then use the rate in a different formula to find how much money you made, how much money is in the account in the 5th month, and how much money in the account is in the 3rd month, and then that difference will be how much money you actually made in that term. So, first step, Wells Fargo. So the formula for finding the annual percentage yield is the APY equals 1 plus the rate divided by n, which is the number of times it's compounded in a year, raised to the n minus 1. So since Wells Fargo compounded daily, and a business year is actually 360 days instead of 365 days, so that you have 12 months of exactly 30 days. So APY is point, and if we're going to find R, so it's 0.05 equals 1 plus R, which is the variable we're going to isolate, over 360 raised to 360 power minus 1. So that's our what we're going to start out with. We're going to add 1 over 1.05 equals 1 plus R divided by 360 raised to the 360 power. And then if you take the 360th root of 1.05, that equals 1 plus R over 360, and then you subtract 1. That equals, minus 1, excuse me, equals R over 360. So then our last step is to multiply this whole thing here by 360, and I will isolate R. 360 times the 360th root, 1.05 minus 1, and parentheses equals R. And if you plug that into your calculator, the value of R is 0.0 4, 8, 7, 9, 3, 4, 7, 0, 6. So that is the rate of interest at Wells Fargo. So we're going to do the same thing again. And this time when we substitute, in the values, we will be doing the values for the Sacramento Credit Union. So Sacramento Credit Union, the APY was 0.19, and it was compounded monthly. So our APY is going to be obviously 0.19, and our N is going to be 12. So 0.19 equals 1 plus R over 12 raised to the 12th power. So the 12th root, no, because minus 1, almost forgot that. Would have been silly. 1.19 equals 1 plus R over 12 raised to the 12. Take the 12th root of that. 1.19 equals 1 plus R over 12. Now, and then I'm going to subtract 1 and then multiply the whole thing by 12. So it'll be 12 times the 12th root of 1 minus 1.9 minus 1 in parentheses equals R. And when you plug that into your calculator, your R value is going to be 0.17522024447. And that is the rate at the Sacramento Credit Union. And then, so now I'm going to substitute in the values for Bank of America, 0.09, and 360 because it's daily. So if we just want to, so 0.09 equals 1 plus R over 360 raised to the 360th power minus 1. And you're going to add the 1 over, so it's 1.09 equals 1 plus R over 360. Don't forget the parentheses, raised to the 360th. You take the 360th root of 1.09, and that's going to equal 1 plus R over 360. And so you're going to subtract 1 and multiply by 360. So 360 times the 360th root of 1.09 minus 1. And that's going to equal R. So now, and then R, the R value that you get after you plug that whole thing into your calculator is 0.086188011.8. So these three numbers are the rates that we're going to plug into our other formula, which is to find the present value of what it is. So that formula is going to be A equals P times 1 plus R over K to the KT, right? So that's the formula we're going to use, and these R's are going to go here, and these K's will be like the N's of the APY formula. And P is for the principal, which is the initial value, the amount of money that you start with in the account, the $2,500. And T will be the time in years. So for 3 months, it's going to be 3/12 of a year. So it's going to be whatever the compounding thing, the K is, multiplied by 3/12. And then we're going to do the same for 5. So if we're going to rewrite all of the banks and the R values. So at Wells Fargo, it was Wells Fargo was 0.04879347706. That is not a 7. 7 right there. 06. And I like to use the full number in my calculations just because your end answer is going to be more accurate. And then the K is going to be 360 because that's because you're compounding it daily. And then at Sacramento Credit Union, just write SAC, it will be 0.17522024447. And K is going to be 12. And then at Bank of America, the little O is important there for those of you at home. 0.086188118. All right, and then K is the same as at Wells Fargo because it's compounded daily. So now our formula is A equals P times 1 plus R over K raised to K times T. T equals time in years. So, first, okay, so if we're going to let's start with Wells Fargo. So, at Wells Fargo, A equals, and we're just going to substitute all in the values. Just substitute in all the values, and you can enter them into your calculator and get the right value, the right final answer. A equals 2,500 because that's the initial amount of money we put into the account times 1 plus 0.04874. Oh no, it's a 9. Oops. 934,706 all over 360 raised to the 360 times 3 over 12, or 1/4, 1/4, or 0.25. And that equals, you put that into your calculator, you're going to get 2530.680586. So that's 3 months. Now, when you do 5 months, it's the exact same thing, except this time, when you put in, so 6 up there. When you put in the T value is going to be different because it's a different time. T times 5 over 12, and that equals 4. So 2,551.343204. All right. So, and then, to find, and that was 5 months. So if you subtract those two, minus 2530.680586. So when you subtract those two, if you want to do it by hand instead of by calculator, that's what you're gonna do. Bam. we round that to the nearest cent, that is going to be $20.66. And that is how much money you make from month 3 to month 5. And then you just repeat these steps. You repeat the same steps, you just do the same formula with plugging in the right values for the rest of the equations, and you will get all of you will get all the right values that you need. And I will list them for you. So Wells Fargo, that's $20.66. At Sacramento Credit Union, you make $76.80. And then at Bank of America, you make $36.95. And that right there, those are all of the answers that you need after going through these steps. Alright, so we're going to use a graphing utility rather than using algebra to find our answer. So we're going to use the same example. We're going to use Wells Fargo. What we're going to do is we're going to graph the equation. We're going to graph the equation that represents the growth of the CD over time. So it's y equals 2,500 times 1 plus, and then in parentheses, 0.0, and your graphing utility might be different, but this is what I have to do for mine. 0.4879344706 divided by 360 raised to 360 times x. Alright, if that right? Looks right. Uh-oh. Oh, look, I messed up my parentheses. I didn't put an extra parenthesis in there. There you go. Alright, so there's your equation. So next what we're going to do is, we can use this sort of as a calculator, because you can put in the value for x that you want, and it'll give you a straight line that has the value they want. So if we put 3 over 12, or 1 over 4 for the 3rd month, graph that line, and on this one it doesn't tell you exactly what this y value is, but if we find the intersection, it'll tell us exactly what it is. So find intersection, calculate. So that's 2,530.6806. Alright, so now let's do the second line. 5 over 12. And then find intersection, and we're going to find the intersection of 5 over 12 and 1 over 360. So, calculate that. 2,551.3432. Alright, so now that we have those two y values, we can subtract them. And that is the, and that's the how much, the difference is how much money you made. So, this was basically the same as the algebra, except instead of us having to work it out, the graphing utility worked it out for us. Instead of using a graph, we can use a data table. So if we put in the original equation, y equals 2,500 times 1 plus 0.0487934706 divided by 360. Don't forget your second parentheses. Raised to the power of 360. And this time, instead of doing just 360x, I'm going to do 360 times x over 12, so that I can use the data table easier. So I won't have to look for 0.25 and stuff. I can just look for 3 and 5. So graph that, and then use probably whatever graphing utility you use, or if you're using your graphing calculator,
it's probably going to be similar to this. So it's probably going to have a data table like this, is what I meant to say. So now that you have this, you can go down your data table here, and you can find 3, and just drag this over so you can see the whole thing. So we can write down I value 2,530.6806, and then go down to 5, 2551.3436, or I mean 3432, and you subtract those, and you'll get $20, and then you get a number 20.662 something, and then you round that to the nearest hundredth or the nearest cent, and that's $20.66. So our 3 ways that we've solved this are using algebra, finding the formula using our graph, finding intersections, and using our data table, and just looking at the data that it gives us. So those are 3 ways you can solve this problem.